am I looking at? I'm looking at you, but you're looking at me. Understand the concept and how we see things, locations in one sideline setting, but all levels of inside location. So today in class, you're going to travel through T reception lines, lacing line interference, but this is a program setting. So it's all about understanding how to see yourself on the other side. This comes into electronic line and inner rotations calculations. It's how you see things with all levels. You never know what's going to happen with live on general. Calculation and interference, general speaks general, and all low lying positions to all universal location, all lines of vibration, energy, frequency, and harmonics. It's really recognizing your body and how it's formed through you in calculations. This is where you center and align its calculation and interference. So planet division location is trying to understand how you see things. All right. It's all about you're aware of these things. So, like I said, I'm looking at you, but you're looking at me, right? And that's how this works. But when you're in a TV reception line, you become that TV line setting, which is all pixel activity stream locations. So you've seen box channels. You've seen one position in one corner, another corner here, position here, position here. The center communication is center line, right? So we're going to lace line in rotations. You guys are going to turn into digital line graphs. So it's all about a lacing line interference. So it's all about understanding and see yourself in pixel location of realms. It boxes locations in position of time to clock locations. Now it's extremely complicated, right? Every time you come to school, it's complicated because you're trying to stand the complicated situation, which is always a trigger. Trigger helps you and always informs. It gets you into reprogramming your system all over again through the electrical system, which is connected to your avatar line setting, especially for all the new viewers. So it's just a basic understanding. Try to understand it goes way beyond the imagination location phenomenon. So the phenomenon changes in line connections how you see yourself in reception of division locations, right? Today we're on live location on TikTok, and you saw all levels of a mirror resolution of a frame that was backwards. It wasn't backwards. You're backwards because you don't understand the electrical system of your phone, right? So just because you see something doesn't mean it's what it is. It's all kept and modify how you see line conditions of what you can't see. That's the provisional location sets calculation setting because it's always enough information to understand you more, right? You got one line setting, but you also have another line setting. So it's all about understanding not just the space, position, location of timeline or anything in space between, but it's trying to understand how to get from one side to jump over to the other side. So when you're jumping from the other side, you're seeing from this side, and this side is seeing you from this side. So you're setting locations into a box TV location, right? So it's pretty amazing when you see these line conditions. All right, atomic communications, jitsing line setting. It's all levels of what you guys are doing and what you're seeing. First, get inbounds communication, nerve reception lines, and pixel location and computer adaptation, all levels to system, PAM communication, Lindsay, all levels of Jill, line conditions of Danny, Johnny, our vendor communication line setting, Heather communication line stream, setting location of Cami, high levels of Yolanda, setting position of Ryan, Andy calculations, Laura, today's structures, Tina communication line setting, all levels Geneva, Senator Pyra, Senator line position of Cami, JP. All right, so introduce locations, introduction, Heather. So it's really connecting the levels of sound, how it connects all form location, right? So, and we also have a Zoom after, gives you guys on Planet 2 divisions, all levels of calculation, your missions, and journeys, just to keep an update and see how you guys are doing. All right, so we go through graph line, like we did line conditions yesterday, line setting. Okay, so I'm going to put you in lacing line, your rotations. Okay, so it's going to be really, really interesting how you guys are set up. Okay. To turn anything in line interference, it's turning to stand the recognition of vibration locations. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's start with 10 lines. 10 lines of vibration line graph, location, position of direct locations, right? Now, this is a TV reception line, okay? Each line is a graph line string, okay? It sets line signals and position location to levels. You truly understand position line directions. So we're going to go through 0 channel, okay? Now it's all about understanding operation signals. Going into triangulation position. See? Triangulation. Setting 0 communication. Right? Center line position. So each line is a representation locations of a graph streamline in rotation as shape. Setting calculation high setting. Okay, set position location directions. So you got one line signal and line center interference and two positions to point locations. All right. So it's interesting to look at these lines. All right. So you have the ground line center rotation interference. Okay. Always have to have the ground setting. Now you're going to merge in position of center line position location calculations. Center calculation is going to put you into a line setting. You're going to jump cross stream line center position locations. So it's going to set position all level direction. It's going to put you in direction line setting like this. This is what it's going to feel like. All right. So you understand how things are moved. Momentum line stream setting is all levels of wireline connection. So we go in line communication into fluctuation like this, crosses right in center communication, right? The center communication is already set up, right? The center line setting and position location opens its lines, okay, a rotation, okay? So we get a lacing line communication into center upright line setting, okay? And this comes into a triangulation. So your TV is set up into a box line setting in position of a diamond core. Okay. Recognition line connections at all levels of plasma position comes into an orb channel of rotation system locations. Right. So it's an icentral line setting looking at you as you're looking at it through position. Now the center line is going to travel line position. You're going to go through the other line communication. Communication line setting, position location directions. Open up portal channels and positions, AI platform calculations into position. Product of line setting, position location, AI channel line interference. Line in rotation clock locations. Now you go into zero graph line string, line position of 1111, portal communication, travel line setting, into CPU unit line setting. Travel position location, center operation line connections, right? All right, so channel line setting, you're on the other line in rotation in your T reception location. Your job is to understand position location and perception lines, okay? So you got 25 line center, clock line interference, 2 position locations, 5 bounce line center, 2 operation line setting, rotation interference, positions of docile communication. Now, line connecting, again, is true and position and directions, all right? So it's all levels. How you guys are going through another center graph location. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 line screens, okay? And we got a graph line connection, position, location, and direction, right? So understanding that, and then you got the snow, okay? You really have to understand the recognition line connection, what the T reception is, position, location, and other line conditions. It all also travel locations into your impulse communication, right? So once you get into that, you get into snow graph screens. Snow graph screens are going to set line setting, okay, all up with the locations, setting sonar position to directions, right? This is channeling to higher communication, right? Understand the T reception lines in position. You're saying pistol axis relocation, position line, low, so travel location. It channels out, right? All right, so have fun. All right, so as you're going through that travel location, we're going to go through the pixel line, okay? Same graph stream, okay? Different channel operation, okay? You have to understand what a TV is and all line connection. So what I'm doing is I'm doing lacing lines of communication in all different angles of correlation, okay? So get a better understanding how you set lines and how you see a T reception line communication system, right? It's all levels of direction. So it channels in communication to all levels of view, okay? All right, so each box round is connected to the line connection. It centers its lines of communication, right? So it's all about traveling through these things through identification. Now the code signal line center is set at 0, 1 position, okay? But the line communication is line connections of patterns. Now that comes into an operation signal and in position of negative over cross location in position of percentage line in rotation center and position of calculation setting. Now the line center interference sets position location directions. Now you got a T-frame to a television line setting, tele, okay? And then L line center, high center bracket interference, vision, okay? Vision line connection, right? Center line in rotation interference. Now you got 3 line position of triangulation in all direction. So it's sure you understand that you have the point location center line, right? That's a modulation line center, okay? Electrical line to line wire interference comes in position, location, directions, center its communication system. All right. So it's got lacing lines of patterns and calculation. Right. So it's all electrical line wires inside the line setting and position, location, and the other side connections. When you're inside location, you're on TV line. So it's all about techno division, techno vision, techno line connection, techno high center line position, techno line connections, all levels of digital frame connection, and number of sequence locations, zero operation line center, one line center, equal line connections, operating line center, in negative over positive position location, position, the bracket line center line connections. All right, so once you get into the T frame, equal line center location, you come into a position location into television, right? So the vision comes into cortex, line streams, location of wires. Right? On the other line center nine position location have these things that through pixel actually stream locations. All right. So it gets more complicated as we go. Right. So this is how it's set locations. There's so many line connections. You have box TVs, right? You're looking at the 80 line center channel communication. Now that's the air, that position of its past line. But the present line center rotation is the future communication setting, which is at levels where you come into smart TVs, TVs that you put on the wall. So it's all colored and in line setting. You start with the black and white. So it's all about understanding the TV reception, all calculations. This way, this way, this way, and this way, and this way, okay, and this way, okay. So it's really understanding how to platitude line settings to all pixel locations, all right? Each box is a representation to an emotional stream, okay? It calculates and modifies how you see yourself, location of travel line position, okay? Okay, so once you understand that, then you understand the antenna and the communication, right? Then you understand the position location to all levels of its ground setting. There's a TV line connection. Now the pixel axis stream location, one box channel, is a rotation cycle. That sets line centers in at 1 second per minute. Now, 1 second per minute is position of 60 seconds per channel. Whoa, 60 seconds per channel is per operation per square per mile per calculus. It gets complicated. It's like tic-tac-toe. So the pixel axis streamline center sets line communications, and they got 3 line centers and 4 line rotation position directions, right? Tic-tac-toe. And then you get in 0 lines. It's tic-tac-toe. So you got communication to 0, and you got connection line centers of X line. But it's position location directions. So the X line center sets line interference. So X line connection is the direct location, how you set line connections, your satellites to your antenna. So it's all levels of communication to a computer interference. Once you get into the module communications, the line sending line position, there is a button at the bottom. It's red or green, whatever. It turns it on, right? It's a shape and line. It comes to you through shapes. So it sets out signal line in a rotation and position, location, and directions, how you set signals in position or direction locations. All right? So this comes into a modification stream. Now, a modification streamline is set lines and how you see your TV reception locations. All right. So once you understand what a TV is and sound line, you have snowy graph location, static, so really understand the static line and electrical line interference position location to each realm. Each box location is a pixel axis stream setting. So it changes position location directions. So you got 1 position location, 2 position, 3 position on all level calculation, right? This is all line socket locations, position of a wall line that's connected to interference location, electrical line connection, all right? So it's channels position per line connections in a triangulation. So it has a different location and it sets signals in opposition, right? See the signal locations. So these channel out into you, right? To line setting and calculations. All 3 remote control. Okay. That's you. And this is the remote control line connection, right? That's the remote control. You hold the remote control. So they come back to you through shapes, line connecting, position location to your line setting, opens all track location into its vision line connection to its TV reception. So that's how the TV sets line communication to you into ground line setting, rotation, interference. Okay. So it gets really, really complicated once you understand how to use your data streamlines. Shapes, letters, numbers, and symbols is in a TV. It's trying to recognize you through pattern. It's trying to understand you through sequence. It's trying to understand you through color. You understand? So it's all calculated, modified through electrical interference of emotional location of a track line connection. It's extremely, 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 extremely complicated, right? So to understand the complication is to understand the position, location, and how to set lines to your operation of how. Y line center equal locations of how, okay? So YH, okay, is line communications of WH, line connection. YHWH. So it's the Y line center of how in position of width, position location into high line setting. Okay, YHWH. So, to understand how it sets line connections, it's all levels of TV reception line, right? So again, we go through another TV box locations, right? 3 channel operation signals. One center line position locations opens all channel. Okay. So you have to understand the recognition of time and sets locations, right? So at signal line connections is always in your 12 line DNA track line center. So your T reception location is scanning new position location to travel. So your travel location is right through line connection. Center communication. So the antenna is upside down in calculations, right? But the center communication is center force calculations, right? So you center line, a bracket line center rotation in position of directions, right? So your TV becomes a round line setting. And that's how you guys are seeing mirror resolution locations of back force calculations through your eye receptors in my TikTok live. Okay. Seeing a reverse line center is set in position location of back force. That's all it's doing through your eye receptor. And you guys couldn't understand that. So the line connecting, again, is electrical line interference. You got line communication on top, line connections at the bottom, line setting in position, and direct locations. Bracket channel communications comes in the zero lines. Now the zero line sets line position locations all levels. So you got a 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, and a 0 communications, right? 4 line center line interference. Center communication is its diamond core line setting, position location directions, right? So line connecting is extremely powerful at all levels of shade communication, right? It changes line conditions. Center line interference opens all track locations into black and white, center line position direction, right? So it's there and it disappears. So changing line setting sets all communications of block settings, right? So it's really interesting locations, but I just wanted to show you what happens when you go through a TV line of an iris of locations. So it's a projector. So it's projecting a projector, and projecting what's going on to calculations. So once you get into line box again, okay, always have your antenna as a top line. That's the locations, 3 channel locations, right? So, and then you got your, okay, so this is lacing lines of communication, right? So you have to understand how this is set up, how the signal dials are changing line connections into radio signals, radio signal location, position, and directions, right? 24 channel line center and position location and radio signal locations into gamma interference. Okay, so this is this. This is this. So travel line setting is all levels of how you reach core line channels. Now, core line channels set line direction location, how you see your T reception lines. It travels its communication system into higher levels of channel location, right? So it goes into one box TV, into another box TV, to another box TV location, right? So your channel here, this is you watching TV. Okay, you're sitting down, you're watching TV, right? This is you. Okay, you're sitting down watching TV, right? So that TV is an eye receptor location right through, right? So that's what you're seeing, the 3 line communications. So setting lines is all levels of you. Now, understanding your TV line is this position location of calculations, right? So it's amazing how it's set up location. That's your TV. That's how your TV is set up. So it's set up antenna line. Okay, here's the antenna, all right? Now, once you understand the lace lines and rotation lines, the box location changes time frequencies. You got 2 line channels, 2 line positions, and 2 line interference location and galaxy setting. Okay. Now it sets up all line position. Now the pixel active streamline setting changes directions. Center communication line over here, setting position. Center calculations up here in center communication, box line setting. And reverse position locations into back force into you in box location. Okay. That's how your TV recognizes you through line connections when you're watching TV. Okay. So it's a signal line channel. All right. So it's really understand how things are set up and positioned, how you're watching things and how everything's watching you. Right. So this is how it becomes a mirror resolution. So it's interesting how you're looking inside a TV, you're seeing everything backwards, but you're not. You have to get in clarity and focus and really understand the antenna of its communication system, of its electrical light connections, right? Once you understand that, everything in the box location comes into the center communication. So understanding the light setting opens up another dimensional line into another dimensional line, into another dimensional line, into another dimensional line calculation setting, okay? So it gets more easier if you understand how to set programs. So 3 channel operation strings. Okay. So you got 3 line connections. Okay. 3, right? So it's sure you're saying how to travel line position, travel line position, travel line position. Okay. So when you're traveling locations, you're setting line channels. Now set location of 0, 0, 0, 2, 6, 1. Okay. That's one graph line setting. All right. So line inner rotations comes into 0. Let's go into 1. Let's go into 10. Let's go into 1000. Okay. So this is how it channels line connections, and this is how it measures your calculation into your electrical light interference in position location, your iris locations, and how many times you channel position location and change in a channel. When you change channels, you change your motional track, which changes all position of reverberation, changes all line signals into correlation to your pixel active streamline setting, changes all number sequence locations into your motional line connections to your impulse calculation setting. All right, all through your TV of reception. So where are we through division line setting? Complicated, isn't it? All right, let's see here. All right, it's going to have back force line setting. Let's light this candle. Okay, connecting with Jill, sending codes to scrambler, tuner levels of sound, lacking lines of TV, projection, pixels limited, and graph, scrambler, resetting grid, connections to string data, setting positions, locations, directions by ear. Yep. Okay. Each pixel TV projection is just right. Very good job. I'm seeing Willy Wonka. Portocons, program setting to Merlin, 520 megahertz through, please. High frequency class. Whoa, my cells are TV screens. Sonar coming in. Now you know, Cammy. Standing lines, it's true you stand line interference, but you have to stand position location to all levels. So there's number sequence patterns everywhere that's connected to your data stream line. Okay. So I think it's fascinating how you guys are aptitude line streams. Now, an aptitude line stream is the line connections to position locations, how you set your signals and your clock locations. So every time you're seeing your TV, okay, your TV is seeing line settings of you through scan location. And this goes way beyond recognition of time. Okay. So it helps out inform to understand what your TV is all through calculation. So you got your antennas, okay, and you got your stand, right? Just like a TV, right? But you understand the TV through intelligent line. This is the sets line, position location into the center communication, right? So it's amazing how it sets lines. Every time you change your multi-line connection, it changes box locations, okay? So when you understand the recognition of lines, then you understand position, right? So every time you change a channel, you're changing the pixels of the TV, right? So it sets the screens in communication in 3-line channel locations or anything through 5 or 6 location. So it goes way beyond recognition. What is through 5-line communications? Now you got 3-line setting into another 3-line setting, into another 3-line setting, into another 3-line setting. Okay, 3, 6, 9, 12. diamond core line setting, rotation. Okay? So once you understand that, the ground setting opens up. Okay? So you got wall socket channels. Now, wall socket channel is electrical light panel. It's position of wall surface line rotation. It's electrical line interference. Okay? So it programs its setting. Okay? So if you understand what's going on through your TV box location, then you understand all levels of electrical light connections. It's really amazing when you travel through wire or lines. You got 3-wire communication, how to travel through that, right? So you center here, you center here, you go here, you go here, you go here, and you're going through space and time through all sequence. So you're going here and you're starting here. Well, it's the same thing with your TV, except the TV is changing pixels. So every time you change the TV, it's changing, right? It's constantly changing. So you're changing programs, you're changing sounds. You're changing voice grid line settings. You're changing all position of direction, all through one. Every time you do that, right? Okay, if you go faster and faster and faster, what are you creating? Lacing line communication. Confusing line setting. Overlap locations. Dimensional line rotation, then 3-line connection. See? That's what happens when your TV shuts down. So that comes into quantum entanglement line setting. You have to reset positions to all levels of line interference and position location back into 0 in all communication setting to all communication rotation to its TV section line. Do calculations. So important to understand what a TV is, eh? Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? Oh, yeah. We're all having fun, aren't we? Center line connections, both 30 degrees. Compass have shifted. Is something is magnetic throwing it off? Yep, everything's throwing it off. Because you're not in your ground line setting. You're not in your perception of the earth now. You're inside a TV. You have to understand it's a whole different world, how things are operated. It's way beyond understanding of what everything is. Yeah. Anyone experiencing glitching, interference, balancing, cleansing, direct time? Yep, that's exactly what it is. So, new program setting light, or positions currently at PSU, resets full capacity, incoming energy, new source, code, currency, running in full capacity. There you go. So, you have a world that you're in. Well, that TV has its own world. And when you jump into their world, you have to identify the system, right? And the only way to do that is to understand the system, how it's operated. So when you actually go inside their technology world. It's calculated and modified its electrical line conditions, pixel streamline center interference, location of clock, locations of numbers. It's all set line communication. That's all it is. 3-track line setting. I really don't understand anything what's going on, General. So that's why you guys are off balance, because you no longer, it's kind of like all of a sudden you're on your earth perception on the ground setting, and now you're in water. You're on a boat, right? So you are no longer in that calculation. You're on water. You're no longer on the grounds. You understand? So when you start living in water, you have to understand the atmosphere. You have to get comfort. And it's all position location to understand these things, right? Because there's always two sides to everything. There's one side of you, and there's another side of you on the dimensional setting, which is all levels of spiritual adaptation, right? Spiritual adaptation location is everything to the avatar line, right? So, a lot of sensations are in the. So now I understand the TV reception comes from all levels of the mind. Yep. There you go, Gypsy. So once you come out, then you understand and appreciate more levels of your TV. Right? Because everything is looking at you as you're looking at it. Okay? So it's not really an it, is it? So what does it stand for? Intelligence or interpretation? Bet you didn't know that. Multipass. So once you get into your TV box location, right? Now it's just screen line. It's all position direction. Right? Channel operations streamlines go from one line position to one direct locations. All right. So comes into all levels. Okay. Truly see how things are set up. On the other side, guys, this side here is the dimensional setting. This side over here is the physical connection, right? So you're working with this inside and all levels. Okay. So adaptation location, this is you trying to understand the communication to your TV, which is all levels, okay, of scanning. So this comes in line, okay. So it's all about understanding how to use the plasma connections. Energy field comes right up in line setting because it doesn't know who you are, okay. It's protecting the system. And then you protect your system all through calculation. So you're good to go, right? So you got 3-line stocks, okay? There's always 3-line communication, right? So if you hire advanced technology, let's say you get a 2024 TV, right? Okay, so you get a 2024. Let's go through calculations. This setting line connection, all right? So let's bring this down. Okay, so there's your 2024 TV. Okay, so in that TV line setting, it all depends on what the shape is. So if it's in position of a square, it's all calculated to a square. Rotations into 4 channels of operation because it's 2024. I bet you didn't know that, did you? So it's got 4 communication settings of travel. So you got a 2024 TV line setting, right? So look at the date. Look, 20, right? So you got 2 line channels, right? Line communication, right? 0 gravity line interference and 24. 24 is the balance of its TV, guys. So mean position location is the left line connection of flux capacitor into the left and the right line position or direction. Okay. So anything that you buy is all electronic. Okay. Your nameplates, your titles, your defense lines, and solar text, everything is energy, electricity. It's all vibration. So understanding it's all levels of synchrony locations. So now you understand when you get to higher levels of a TV, you go to higher levels of travel and the other line of dimension of travel location, which is connected to your 12 DNA, right? So wiring through my cells like a message because all the cells are generating electrical current. Very good, Gypsy, right? Reacting to all calculation inside position, right? So I'm just showing you how powerful it is to actually go inside a TV and understand its world, all through vibration. Energetic patterns, energetic interference, energetic line connections, keyboard line, channel line rotation, and in-line position. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You got so many airs of communication, right? 8-line connections. So you start with the 80s. The 80s TVs were just boxes. Okay, 80s were just boxes, right? And you come into 90s and you come to higher level position locations, to higher level channels. And then you come into 2000, right? It's going to 2023, higher advanced communication technology. 80s, 90s, 2023, right? So if it's a 2023 TV line, you guessed it, it's got 3 box locations. Mm-hmm. So it's all about understanding how to see line communications of the TV as a map. So in 2023, okay, so it's got a 2-channel operation line stream. It's got a 0 gravity location. Now the 0 gravity location is in its dimensional line, okay? So it's got a 0 location in the 2-line position into a 3-line setting, all right? So the 3-line setting is set in locations into 3 channels of operation of dimension, okay? You travel through it, right? See how that works? So when you travel through it, you come back in center communication, which is 9 channel of operation, which is you, which is percentage line into 1%. Okay. So when you get in that position location, the pixel changes direction. It changes directions every time you change the TV. Okay. So it's interesting with line connections and pixels. So showing exactly, it's like your data streams into your matrix. It goes very, very fast, right? But with the TV reception line, it goes through box line centers, so travel locations. So it's like in matrix locations where you travel from one portal to the next. Right? Going. That's what it's doing. Second per channel per operation, all through direction, through direct signal, through line connections. Every time you change that channel, right? That's how fast it's going. All through box line center in 3 line positions of 2023 line connection. Ooh-ah. Fun, isn't it? A lot of intense interference. So you guys have never been in a TV, right? Welcome to the TV world. What do you think we're in? Knock, knock. Who's there? Ah, see? See, that all connects. All connects. So, yep. So it's great to see you guys going through all this. You know, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So we got 30 line setting. Okay. 30 line setting. 30 line, not 37. So you take one symbol, one letter, one number, one shape in calculations to 1 second per channel per operation per square per mile. So you got 30 line setting, 7 line in rotations into 20 communication. Guys are back. Right, sending you guys back, line condition to reception line, taking you guys out, just like that. Right? You have fun? Wiring panels, soundboard, hardware boards. It is amazing, isn't it? Really understand more line connections to your avatar all through TV, man. So, happy birthday, Andy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Andy. Happy birthday to you. And many, many more. All right. Let's see here. Still traveling through numbers, and this is just whoa. Yep. Danny, yeah, you're back in line setting, so you're just releasing line position location of 0 gravity. So it's powerful, isn't it? I know we have a lot to talk about on Zoom, right? So in position, location, and direction, is this all forms of intelligence? Is this a T reception line? Yes. It's a digital pad, but it's intelligence, right? So in relation, you have to understand how to use yourself as a particle system. A particle system is all levels of electrical light connections. Now you understand what a T reception is and all levels of channel operation. So next time you're using a remote control, you know exactly what it is on the other side. Ooh-ah. How it's all set up in operation. Powerful, isn't it? Closing portals, yep. Well, yeah, that's exactly what it is, Danny. And the more you understand what's going on, the more it streams out like this. Starts to recognize more levels of U2 panel, electrical line connections into optical line channels of communication. Numbers, channel lines in rotation to electrical lights, electrical fields, electrical panels, high center, and location direction. That's your TV and all level system. right? These are electrical data inputs, okay? The data line setting in the line in rotation interference sets line communication, right? Now, this is so far in the future communication through a digital frame, you understand the lacing lines of data stream locations, right? Each docile line setting set locations to each number sequence. It sets a pattern in a communication to sequence location. It sets a clock location in a wireline setting in rotation to its clock location, all through a T reception of a line connection. Ooh-ah. So, yes. Going to travel through again. Anyone's welcome to join. Past, future. Yeah. So it's 11:36. Okay. So 12 position locations coming in line setting. I'll see you guys on Zoom. Adios.